They stand tall or not at all. Cowboys find a win. One way or another. Don't it feels good winning? I get it. We would love to have a better draft pick. But at this time, if your heart is in this game, if your mind is in this game, you'll take the dub. You'll take the dub because we can't stand the Washington team or the Commanders. So, rivalry for what it is, come on. All right. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Yup. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we want Dallas. We want Dallas. Run it back, baby. Run it back, Turbo. All right. Come on with me, guy.
Read it.
Run from it.
Destiny arrives all the same.
All the same, baby.
And now it's here. Or should I say, I am.
Come on with it. This is what we gonna do. We got this big tank on the screen. That tank now is a little bit smaller, ladies and gentlemen. That tank now is it's getting small now. That tank done shrunk. Because next week we got to play against the Giants. All right, so my thing is, ladies and gentlemen, somebody said, why beat the Washington? Why give Washington more strength? I want to break them. I want to know in Dan Quinn's mind and head that, hey, this Mike McCarthy guy got him. Yeah, he got him. He got him. He had him when he was in Atlanta the same way. He got him, right? I want for that to be the first straw that lands on the back of the Washington so that they can have doubt now, so that they can stop building up this momentum and thinking that they are better. I want every situation to come back around them and tell them, hey, you guys lost today. Yeah. In anything and everything. It don't matter. It's a divisional foe, family business, as they say, and I want to hand you that L. I want to take away any hope, will, any think of a sliver, a small thing of hope. I want to take that away from you. You ain't finna warm up this. No. J. Diz says, like I said, Mike McCarthy just got extended. No, that don't mean he got extended. No. That don't mean he got extended. Okay, the Vikings won. Okay, yeah, but this was a situation that we can look back at this game. We had broken parts. But this is what it is. This season is still over. I feel you, Jay. I feel you. But what we learned out of this game, what did we learn? What did we learn out of this game? That Kevontae Turpin, he needed to be here. Joshua Butler, he's a good, solid backup piece. We got some answers with that. Wanye, keep Wanye out there on the field. Things happen better. 13, oh my gosh, you got to like 13. You'll be a fool if you don't like 13. And this offensive line, let's give kudos and credence to this offensive line. You got to like the way they were able to do those things right there. Come on. Yeah. You got to like the offensive line. Yeah, you got to like the offensive line. Schoonmaker gave us a little thing special, Yeah. Brevin span forward. All right? So what you can do here is say, hey, I know it's Washington. I know that team is kind of like, hey, they had this and that going on. I don't care about that because before the game they was talking about blowing us out, beating us. They had Vegas had them a plus 10.5 or something like that. All right, it would be a situation and scenario that you can still shoot your shot on trying to move on from Terrence Steele at this particular situation. Right? Maybe Tyler Guyton just ain't ready to be on that left side too, to be fair to everything. Maybe that's the situation. 5 takeaways from this game. Y'all gonna have to understand that this defense, boy, they're getting a little bit better. And you got to give a round of applause to Podcast Parsons. You got to. Yeah. It slid us back on Tankathon. We about the 11th spot now. If we do the refresh, let's see where we at. Yeah, it hurt a little bit to be down, but we had to see how all of this other stuff shakes out. So we right there in the middle spot now. We got Cincinnati, New Orleans, Cleveland, Jets, Tennessee, Carolina, New England, Vegas, Giants, Jacksonville. Yeah. Those teams, we slid a little bit on that. Let's see how everything else works its way out. Cowboy Nation, let's be nosy and see what they talking about over here.
Pass. Yeah. Boy, that was just the one blemish I felt like that they had today. Other than that, hey, that's for them, that's a nice victory. You get a victory against a team that's battling for playoffs. And when you were so
I told y'all we're going to play spoilers.
On the offensive line, give the offensive line a lot of credit for creating holes for Rico Dowdle, the way they ran the ball. Cooper Rush played a very efficient game, didn't turn the ball over, played with some really smarts about him. Mm-hmm. And then CeeDee Lamb, he gets all these, he got 10 receptions for 67 yards. Yeah, it wasn't game-breaking type stuff, but, they did enough on offense today to get that game. Where we've seen him in the second half of games, here recently where the offense just was a no-show. But today they did a really
third
good
quarter
job
touchdown
of getting after this Commander defense.
No, I mean it really was a heck of a win when you consider our buddy Todd Archer put out Zach Martin, Diggs out of course.
No, there's no question. Yeah,
you had 5 of your top players in terms of salary cap figures totaling more than $100 million with Dak, Tank, Martin, Diggs, and Cooks all not playing.
Right,
they were without a ton. I mean, you've got both. Tyler Smith's out. Zach Martin's out.
Shuffling the left tackles throughout the game.
Yes.
There was just so much going on for the Cowboys in this game that you got a tip of the cap to Mike McCarthy, the staff. We talked about, they've quit, they did this, they've done that. No, they haven't quit on that guy, and they're going to continue to try and win games. They're going to come home, they're going to try and win this game Thursday night is what they're going to try and do. And so that's what they do. And, we could talk about draft position and all that all we want, but here we are. It's a nice victory for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that with you. 877-881-1053, the number to call, the number to text. I as if you listen to the post-game show and you listen to our show, the G-Bag Nation on the flagship 105.3 The Fan, you know I'm a diehard Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
And I love the draft. I get to host the draft show with you.
Right.
And it's amazing. And yes, big picture, it would be awesome to have the highest draft pick possible.
Yeah.
But it also feels damn good to win. And when the Cowboys are playing, I can't ever root for them to lose, and it feels really good to beat up on Washington as well.
Sure. I think there's a lot of people, if they understand the history of this rivalry, and there was a lot to be made that, hey, was Dan Quinn going to put a beating on the Cowboys today? And I guarantee you, I know I picked the Commanders to win this football game, because, again, Dallas, they were so shorthanded in a lot of areas. You hadn't seen any type of offense from this team throughout the losing streak. So good for them. Some of the things we talked about leading up to this game came to fruition, with some of the Parsons and an inside rush and, the tight ends getting a touchdown, against the
the penalties.
Yeah. The penalties. Yeah. That if you line up deep, they're going to make these calls. They're going to call, for lining up deep. So, things we talk about, and the Cowboys were able to take advantage of some things. I love the way that they went after the Commanders secondary. I really, really do. And handing the ball to Rico Dowdle is never a bad option.
No, Rico, 19 carries. That's the most he's had since the Pittsburgh game. Averaged 4.5 yards a carry, 86 yards. The long was 9. I mean, the balance was there today. I mean, we were talking in the post-game show last week. Cooper Rush is throwing the ball, 55 times?
Yeah, that's not going to win.
Like, I don't want to hear about this commitment to running the football and the number of touches because you just don't want to run. Today they did. You had 19 carries for Rico Dowdle. You had 3 for Zeke. They mixed in CeeDee Lamb a little bit to 32 passes. It was very balanced, probably the most balanced it's been all year for Mike McCarthy and calling the game. Now, yeah, I mean, we're getting texts in. I definitely would agree. There were some certain moments. I don't understand why you take the timeout in that first half instead of challenging the spot. If you were just going to take that timeout, then go ahead and challenge the spot. Worst case scenario, you lose it. And now you've burned the timeout anyway.
Yeah.
So that didn't make a lot of sense. I think end of the game, some of that coaching, that could have come back to bite them.
Could have got him.
We'd be criticizing Mike McCarthy there if they lost 100%.
Absolutely.
So
We want Dallas.
that you can debate and talk about there. But as a play caller, I thought today was one of his better
Still
days.
setting up some things over here on my end.
After they had the ball, where the ball was, they gave the ball to the Commanders at the 40-yard line, and he basically walked up to Bones Fossil and said, "Don't effing do that again."
Yeah.
And sometimes Bones Fossil gets a little cute, and I, like I said, hey, I really appreciate Wanye Thomas making a football play, but that's got to be talked about. Just get down.
Situational football.
Just situational football.
Wanye, like, man, let me hit that, man.
And this game's over.
Let me hit that one more time.
You just don't want to be in that situation where you've seen this team throw a Hail Mary for a game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
In this case, it might have been a game-tying touchdown. So, I think there's so many things that you just have to look at coaching-wise that they were able to survive. And
then, certainly Guyton, you take away 2 first downs that were both passes to CeeDee Lamb that he converts because of penalties.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't love the holding call.
No.
But hey, but then you line up with an illegal formation.
Yeah.
And that's something where if you're doing a scouting report on the refs and you can tell us that's something that they're going to be looking at and calling, the team certainly has that information, is aware as well. Tyler Guyton's got to know he needs to get up.
Yeah, no, and especially after it happens the first time, and I'm going to guarantee you before that, the officials were probably telling him, hey, you need to move up or we're going to call it. And he, probably stayed in the position he needed. He felt like he needed to get off the ball the way he did. But to happen twice and then to nullify a big pass reception, that's really, really hard. It's real simple. Just line up, put your head in the midline of the guard's body, and that's where you line up, and away you go. And so, unfortunately, though, that happened. But I'd say overall, though, the offensive line, I give him some credit.
No sacks allowed.
No sacks.
And that was a good front.
You were worried about Fowler. You're worried about Armstrong. And, those guys played a little bit like they'd played at the Cowboys before. Some of the times where you expected them to have some success, but they weren't able to.
And you mentioned the turnovers.
Yeah.
3 turnovers
They're still Cowboy
today
fans.
forced by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They just had the 1 turnover themselves. They've been on the wrong end of that pretty much every
We
game
want
this year.
Dallas.
It did look like what we'd seen from Dan Quinn defenses with him on the other side. All of a sudden, boom, here come the turnovers for your Cowboys.
Yeah, they
they
did a nice job of playing for their old coach, in front of their old coach, and give Lewis and those corners a lot of credit. Give Butler a lot of credit. He goes out there and he battles. Terry McLaurin is not an easy guy to have to deal with, and we saw that on the 87-yard touchdown.
Yes, I mean Josh Butler was brilliant today. He led the team in tackles, 3 pass breakups, had the sack. That was an Achilles heel. It was pick on whoever was playing opposite corner to Diggs. Today it was Bland, but Carson a healthy scratch. They found something here with Josh Butler, who was
had
really,
a sack
really good.
too.
Yep,
Josh Butler got him a sack as well. So a stellar day for him with, as you mentioned, the 10 tackles, the sack, and numerous
crazy
knocking defenses of the ball.
According to ESPN research, that 41 combined points in the final 9 minutes of regulation, most in an NFL game since the Lions and Titans in 2012 when they put up 43 combined points. That fourth quarter was nuts. All right, let's take your calls and texts. 877-881-1053. We do want to hear from you. We'll also hear from Mike McCarthy. We'll hear from Cooper.
All right. So while they jumping over to that, I appreciate everybody for tuning in and being part of this conversation. If y'all want to reach out to my super friend, buddy, Louis T. You can. That's the link to his page right there. And then y'all can go over there and say, we want Dallas. We want Dallas. Y'all can do all of that if you want to. That's the link right there in the chat. We'll be tuning in to Louis' reactions, and we'll see what he's talking about as far as their team. Also, and put a blue heart in the chat if you are a Cowboys fan and you've been looking to get something going. But I would say from the 518, you're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Hey, Lord, man, we got one.
Got one. Yeah.
Hey, but boy, this is. Yes, I'm glad they won, man. But man, we can't. You know what? I ain't gonna complain. We got a victory today. Them boys needed it. They deserved it. I think you can kind of feel where I want to go with this conversation. But man, I was hoping that, you know what I mean, we was gonna kind of try to construct these gains and the losses, but because I can just feel now, if our defense puts out that type of effort every week going forward, see what's going to end up happening is, Jerry's going to get into that, that brain of his, and he's going to say, well, if this didn't happen with Mike,
right,
and that didn't, rip the meat off the bone, so we're just going to go ahead and re-up Mike for another 5 years. And that's just large.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you for calling in, dog. It was hard to hear you too, by the way. I sound like you was underwater. But I would say this though. Overall, I get what you said. It's hard to be mad at a win because we haven't won in a long time. And then if you're going to win any game, you want to win against your divisional foe and alleged rivalry game. You want to win against those boys. It's miserable when the Cowboys lose. At least the water will taste good. At least preparing for Thanksgiving will feel better now, man. I got some turkey legs and some cabbage and stuff like that I'm going to try to eat and put into my body. I got some cornbread. We got some rice and beans and stuff. And we want to be able to eat good food, man. And the Cowboys sometimes determine that, So I would say this. Are we far away from the Super Bowl? Yeah, you can say that. Are you far away from the playoff? Yeah. But I want to play spoilers. I want to play spoilers. I want to play spoilers against the Eagles. I want to play spoilers against the Washington. Yeah, I want to play spoilers against anybody that trying to win and get in and put it all over our faces. I want to do that. And we got to also quantify the fact that that Zim defense been hobbled. There goes to show you. I saw some plays out of Marshawn Nealon that we could take home and say, yeah, Nealon gave us something, and this is his first game back.
And the kick's away, and the kick is wide left. That came off his foot going wide left.
Hell yeah. Come on, yeah, Native Texas, spoil their season, yeah.
86 yards to the house. It looked like, oh my goodness. Could we be in for overtime? We just broke it down. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Brian Broaddus. I thought maybe Dan Quinn would go
my number up here too. My number right here.
The game right there.
Get in line, y'all. Get in line. Call this number.
And then Wanye Thomas goes 43 yards, taking the onside kick return for a touchdown. Maybe should have just gone down and allowed
get them points, Wanye.
To then expire.
Contract for you, bro.
Commanders back to football, but 34-26. Cowboys snap their 5-game losing streak and now improved to 4-7 on the season, 4-2 on the road. Commanders now losing 3 in a row. They've dropped to 7-5 on the season.
Could have been 4 in a row.
The official post-game show of your Cowboys rolls on. We'll get to the phones here, 877-881-1053. Brought to you by Aristocrat. You just cheered for America's team on the field. Now see them on the reels. Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat. Now at a casino near you. Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. And if you got a gambling problem, please contact 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over. And we begin. Let's go to Charlie in New Mexico. What's going on, Charlie?
Hey, guys. glad for the win. I want to see that video again of we want Dallas, when everything was going well. If we beat the Skins and we beat the Eagles, my season's complete. And I look at it like this. I thought we were going to end up giving this game away again. And you guys took my thunder with talking about McCarthy, and that timeout made no sense to me at all. And then the last series when we got the onside kick, the first onside kick, it's just like we laid down trying not to lose. It drove me crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, Charlie. I mean, I think big picture, it's still a bad team. But today they found a way to get a win against the Commanders team that, look, I think defensively is really what stood out. Your defense since the bye week, every week under Mike Zimmer, is getting better and better. They still don't have all of their pieces.
Right.
And they've gotten broken down in second halves of games because they didn't get any help from the offense. But today, the offense was able to extend some drives, and your defense put together 4 quarters of pretty good play.
Yeah, it's amazing when you don't go 3 and out. You know,
the aristocrat drink would take you under. That's what Washington people drink.
Get a couple first downs along the way. And, they had the punt or were able to get the punt off, or they didn't miss the field goal or get a field goal blocked. It's just a disaster overall for that. But, yeah, the defense got some help today. And you got some guys that, look at the fact a guy like Golston, he's had to play – the majority of the season. He just, he comes up with an interception and continues to get, better and better and better each week that he gets to play. And I think there's, several guys that are like that are they're getting better as this is going along. Unfortunately, though, it's not going to probably be a very good season overall, but at least those guys are getting the experience. And playing in these games.
Hey, all I need now is the 49ers to lose.
Interception. Last Cowboys D lineman with a pick was DeMarcus Lawrence. He had a 40-yard pick six back in 2021 against Washington. So there's something about defensive linemen for the Cowboys getting interceptions when it comes to playing Washington. Let's go to Jake in Stephenville. Jake, you're on the official postgame show of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, guys, I'll keep it short, man. I'm just, I'm just disappointed in the draft order. I know that you guys are taking some joy in a victory, and that's great, but somebody in this organization somewhere has to look big picture. And maybe not you, maybe not me, but for God's sake,
Brian gonna get him. Watch.
We got a once in
Brian gonna get him.
20-year chance of going 3 and whatever. And Jerry Jones still wants to win. He's still putting Cooper Rush in to win. Still talking about winning. And it's just going to be a terrible season we're going to go through. We're going to get nothing out of it. And it's just going to be all for nothing. We're going to
get him now.
That's just what the Cowboys do. They do the worst thing they can in the situation. Winning this game was the worst thing they could have done, so that's what they're going to do. I expect them to beat the Giants, the Panthers. I expect them to win 7 games and completely screw us. So they'll have a good show.
Appreciate the call, Jake. I don't know. I mean, Carolina played pretty damn tough today against Kansas City. Almost pulled out a big upset win. Titans got a win today against Houston, which was an upset. You had the Bears trying to come back and beat Minnesota. All in all, I think the draft order will work itself out. You're still sitting right now at 11. You didn't really lose a ton of ground at all with this win today. Look, NFL players and coaches don't believe in tanking.
They don't. They won't tank. They won't tank. As much as you could be disappointed and pissed off about the draft position and big picture and all that, their big picture is to win as many games as they can. And you know what? If they're picking first, or they're picking fifth, or they're picking 15th or 27th, their job's going to be to draft. So I don't, like I say, I understand it. Because I've been in that situation. I was a part of 5-11 football.
Texans lost
here, and you would do anything in your power to get a win. Seriously, you would just do anything. Your whole week was trying to figure out how to get a win, while people maybe in the media or maybe fans were like, "No, keep tanking, don't win games. We want the better picks."
We won and the Titans won, so it really don't really change that much.
Not do very well either.
Yeah.
Talk to the San Francisco 49ers about Trey Lance, if you want to get on one. So you could have a terrible season, a really good drafting position, and completely F up this draft. So hey, play out the season, see where you pick.
And what the Raiders win.
877-881-1053, the number to call, the number to text. Let's pause, though, 10 seconds for station identification across the dial.
So how this works is like the Raiders beating the Broncos now, you know. And if you look at Tankathon, you know, of course the Raiders is picking ahead of us. The Titans won. Carolina tried to win, but they didn't win today. So, of course, the Jets, the Cleveland won, you know. So I get it, man. I'm all in favor of getting better draft picks. I'm all in favor of that. But I'm also all in favor of finding guys like the Joshua Butlers of the worlds and finding out guys that we put in on this offensive line like Austin Richards, who gave us a good little push here and there. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the small things, man, and let's go. Raiders we need the Raiders to win now, you know. So I get it, man. I get it. I understand. 657-390-7391 is the hotline for your mind. Brought to you by FrenkelFirm.com. Be sure to check out Frenkel and Frenkel Law Firm. They are located here in Dallas, Texas. Be sure to check them boys out here. I got on the phone line, we're going to bring up my guy from the 774. You're live on the Nation. Jamie, you're live. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. I gotta admit, man, I didn't think we were gonna pull that off, Law.
Right.
I'm happy we did, man. Those youngsters, the young guys came in, man, and they showed hot today. But if I have to, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but if I have to have any critique, it's just we always find ways to these games, man. We gotta learn how to close these games out. You know what I mean? It's just the defense. We gotta close these games out, man. It was almost a heartbreaker, man. I was on the edge of my seat. I'm not gonna lie. I want to win all these games. You know, I'm not all one for tanking. But I'm glad we needed this win for morale. The locker room needed this win. The players needed this win, and I'm definitely glad we got this win, man. We can definitely. It's a short week. You know what I mean? Hopefully we get some more players back. And again, I'm not all for tanking, so I'm all about going in. Thanksgiving and trying to get that W against New York.
Yeah, let's go get it, man. Right on the money, man, with everything. Great analysis of what we need to do better. And let's see how this thing can work its way out, because you don't want that mindset to be like, hey, these guys tanked. You know, you want the mindset to say, hey, these guys fought like living hell to get that W. And whoever the new coach will be next year, he'll be able to build upon that. So I appreciate you, bro.
Hey, appreciate you back, man. Keep up the great work, brother.
Thank you, man. That's my guy, Jay, man. I get it 1,000%, man. We want to look at this game and be like, hey, man, what a good game, man. We put things together, but now we lost, but now look at where we can go at now as far as the draft. But who is to say the Cowboys going to make the right decision in that draft spot? You know, that's all I'm saying, too. Shoot, you take it for Mozzie. Shoot, you take it for tacos. You take it for somebody that can be a bust like I don't want to say Matt Jones, but it could be something similar like that. So you just want to fight to win and play to win. You know, that's just how it goes. And Dan Quinn played spoiler again. Quinn, where have you been, Quinn? So, and it could be that the 49ers, Brandon Allen, what happened to their quarterback? They could be in the sweet states with Daniel Jones. I'm watching the 49ers game on TV.
Dallas Cowboys gear at JCPenney. If you
JCPenney's Dallas Cowboys gear. All right, and the next caller that we have here waiting for to jump on is Lady Jessica from the 903. You're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them, baby? Don't it feel good?
I didn't get a chance to see the game.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad they won. I'm glad they won, but I did see the app, and I was watching the live thing you had up.
Okay.
I just made it in from church.
Okay.
And I'm grateful that they won. I thought they supposed to be playing oh boy, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful for the win. Ain't nobody about no tanking. Finish the season out. Do it for Dak, if anybody. If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your quarterback. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And like you said, Law, this year, these games are actually to see who we're going to keep and who we're going to get cut.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be mad, Law, if Jerry Jones get rid of Turpin. Because we need him. I'm sick and tired of every year he get rid of the wrong people.
Yeah.
They keep the sorry people and don't make our team no better.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to keep Turpin. The Hunter Lukin,
Yeah.
Shoemaker, and they need to pay them more. I mean, Mike McCarthy, ain't nobody got time for his mess.
Okay.
I was like, is it really Mike McCarthy or is it Jerry Jones? But he done proved it's him. You don't want to do the run game. How can you pull away from the run game when it's working for us? You don't pull away from it. But today it seemed like he heard what you said, Law. Stick to the run game. He heard what a lot of content said. Stick to the run game. I'm grateful for the win. I'm happy about the win. I heard people say, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad. What kind of man are you to want our team to just go down the drain? If they can do it, go do it. Get it done. This is what I'm talking about. When the stars are out, the next man up needs to do their job and work together as a team and win. I'm happy about it. PVO, everybody. I have a happy Thanksgiving. I mean, some going to be happy Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean,
but appreciate you. Oh, are you about? Yeah. Yeah.
No, I said I lost my father 6 years ago, but I have my mother. And I love y'all.
Solution to manage all your payment needs, regardless if you're getting paid in person or online, one time or recurring.
Yeah. Hold on right quick. I got stuff going on over here. I appreciate you for calling in, Lady Jessica.
Payments your business will love.
What in the world happened over here? I'm getting all type of echoes. Let's see what can happen here, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you, Lady Jessica.
If you're a YouTuber and you want to save hours managing your library, you need to.
Here we go.
Come check out how you can edit your end screen.
I had too many windows open. Let me know if you're still there, lady. Oh, she gone. But prayers out to her and her people. We got Louis T's chat open here, and they all timed up. They ready to talk and listen to what he have to say. But I appreciate all of y'all for jumping in over here. Appreciate y'all for y'all support. And let's tune back in to the Dallas Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan, and then we'll try to get things moving quickly for y'all. Okay, hold on tight for me.
Your turn to host the game.
Oh, they still on commercial.
Whataburgers help.
They still on commercial. Let me know, man, in the chat when they click over to the actual player interview. Okay, all right. So we got from the 206, and then we had a 469. But the 206 is live on the Nation. Talk to me.
What up? What up? How you doing, brother?
Doing good.
Oh, it's cool. You know, it was a crazy game. I'm like, defense. Boy, 33 seconds, give up a score. That was crazy. That was good. What you think about that?
Well, there was a blown communication play. They capitalized off of it. But outside of that, I would say that this team in a divisional game was able to showcase, with us having 7 starters out, we were still able to showcase that this game could have pulled away better or even more for us, you know. I do like where Marshawn Nealon contained and got upfield, like 99. He did a great job. 13 was everywhere to a degree. You got to give kudos and credence to Michael Parsons. He still balled out in this game, by the way. So everything else looked pretty good on the backside. Joshua Butler, he stood tall in a lot of series there versus Noah Brown. Then again, it was Noah Brown, by the way. So I'm just taking everything in as, hey, at least they showed some fight.
Yeah, at least they showed some fight. You know what I'm saying? They was having so many penalties. It was Washington. All the Washington fans should shut up. They still sorry. They let Dallas bad, you know, bad coaching, and most of the players gone. They beat Washington. Washington thought they had it going on. But I told you that offensive line.
We couldn't take advantage of it. We couldn't take advantage of it. This was.
Yeah.
And 60 guy was pissing me off.
Yeah.
Every time we make a play. Hold it. Offside.
False start. Yeah. He gonna have to get his feet together, man, and play a whole lot better, man, down the stretch because he's a drafted pick and he didn't look good for us, man. But I appreciate you for calling in, big dog, big homie. Appreciate you.
Sir, man.
You have a good one, bro.
Good win.
Appreciate you. Yes, that's MJ, man, from the 206 in the mix. Let's see what they got here. Let's see what they got going on here. That's my guy. We gonna go and see what he talking about here. Yeah. Let's see what they got. Appreciate y'all's support.
This is my coping mechanism. I'm going back to where I was before the season started, mentally. All right? So here is what I'm going to do to enjoy the rest of this season because theoretically speaking, we're ahead of schedule, right? But as I mentioned this on my Bleacher Report post-game, the Broncos have a chance to get to 7-5 today with a win over the Raiders, which we expect them to get. If they get to 7-5, their 7-5 and our 7-5 look vastly different. They feel a lot better about their 7-5 than we feel about our 7-5 because it was achieved in two different manners. They started the season 0-2 and they dug themselves out of a hole early and they fought. And they fought. They'd win 2, they'd lose 1, they'd win 2, they'd lose 2, they'd win 1. And so now they've gotten to the other side. And if they get to 7-5, they're feeling good and they're playing some of their best football at the right time of the season. Meanwhile, a lot of people said, hey, you're peaking too soon. You might have played your best football. Didn't want to hear any of that stuff. Didn't want to hear it. Didn't see the end offensively in sight because we were playing so well. But it may appear that we have played our best football of the season. We did peak too soon. We aren't playing our best football. We have lost 3 straight. This offense looks broken. Now you have no Brian Robinson Jr. You have no Austin Eckler. You're going to have to go out on the streets, physically out on the streets. You're going to have to re-sign Chris Rodriguez because you just cut him, right? You're going to have to bring him back, put him on the roster, and then you got to still go out and get another guy off the street to help you at the running back position.
We got to do his
ball.
we
going
give
with
you.
Chris Rodriguez and Jeremy McNichols at the running back position. That's the group we're going to be trotting out at the running back position. And so you're getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
You're not playing well on offense. Defensively, you know who you are. They're going to fight. They're going to give you everything they've got, but it's not enough if you're not scoring points, right? Now the special teams is jumping in the mix, and they're starting to have issues in the kicking game, right? So it's just all bad right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going all the way back to the beginning, back to the basics. No expectations, all right? I that week 3 win over Cincinnati sent me into a tizzy, and I started having expectations. And when you have expectations, you don't enjoy the ride unless it's going well. Now, I just want to enjoy the ride because we're early. We showed up early, and now the expectations is getting the best of us because we're not ready yet. When you're throwing the ball to Noah Brown 15 times in a game, meanwhile, your best receiver is
Tell me about it.
Field not getting looks. You got
because of Bland. Because of Bland.
A fundamental issue when your best receiver isn't.
I chose Wick.
Oh shoot! He went to commercial. I need to get YouTube. What do you call that? Prime. But yeah, hey, he said it's a coping mechanism for him. That hey, now you just look at the other teams how they looking. You know, shit. Oh my gosh!
I wouldn't even kick him the ball.
Oh my gosh!
I just even punting the ball, I'd angle it away from him if I could. If I'll take a 39-yard punt instead of him bringing it back, or put the ball at the 30 instead of him bringing it back 99 yards. So, listen, hey, special teams, their session on, I don't know how much they're going to get to watch.
Noah Brown, by the way.
The Giants on Thursday. But, man, that is going to be an interesting special teams meeting with all the things that went on in that game.
Absolutely.
With the good and the bad there.
I'm going to tell y'all, man, that Hennessy going to taste good tonight, y'all. Ooh-wee.
All with some things, so.
That speed is special.
And it might be a little bit too late, but, here we are.
All right, let's hear from the legendary voice of your Dallas Cowboys, the great Brad Sham, brought to you by the National Medal
Check
of Honor
out
Museum.
the big
Join
brain on Brad.
MLHmuseum.org and AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Quite a historical day there, Brad Sham. We were just breaking down some of the special teams. Holy moly. What was your takeaway from some of the good, the bad, and the ugly that we saw from the special teams units?
Oh, just from teams, Zach? I mean, it's the first time Anger's had a punt block since he's been here.
Yeah.
And we did not we had buffering going on the TVs. We could see it looked like someone got pushed back on the punt
center.
protection unit.
Yes, Steve got driven back into the punter.
Good for them, because that doesn't happen to him.
Yeah.
And so they made a play, and then Aubrey. The last time Aubrey missed 2 kicks in a game was here last year.
Right.
And then you could see him when the kickoff went out of bounds, and he bent over at his knees and grabbed his head. I mean, so that's obviously unlike him to have 3 mishaps like that. And but then here they come and recover the 2 onside kicks, and Turpin's play was ridiculous, and Aubrey hit the other kicks that he needed to hit. You can literally live your life and watch football every week and not see one game with all of that madness that happened in special teams in one day.
It was crazy, Brad. I will say this, though. Of all those things that happened, those special teams-wise, Dallas being so short-handed on offense today, especially along the offensive line. Tip of the cap to those guys that had to be ready to play, got in there, were able to run the ball today, good enough protection. I be honest with you, I honestly expected the worst out of that. I felt like maybe.
I mean, I did too. But,
yeah.
But Brian, I was. I mean, you made a great point there, because, and I said it on the air after the first field goal was blocked.
Yes.
Because they had one guy leak through, it was either the A gap or the B gap, and one came clean around the end. Well, what I don't know, and we'll know tomorrow, is who was playing on those protection units, particularly in the line, who hasn't, maybe all year.
Right.
And who wasn't there, who is. And it makes a difference. I mean, it's not an excuse, but it does make a difference if there's confusion and, you're not sure who's supposed to be where and when. And, I think that the very fact that you played, the very fact that they came into the game believing they could win,
yes,
with everything they had going against them,
mm-hmm.
is a tribute to their resilience, which is not something we've been able to say since the game in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And that was one of the grittiest games I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't be more. This wasn't even and I think we talked about this on the pregame show, Brian, with Eric. This wasn't even a knife to a gunfight. It was like a fork to a gunfight.
No. Yeah.
And look at them. And so then, Zach, you asked me about the special teams. And then the other thing I would say is I have no idea how the defense played like that for 3 quarters.
Unreal.
I mean, now Micah Parsons makes a difference.
Yeah.
And, Neeland helped. But, that's a team averaging 28 points a game.
Right.
And they didn't do anything until, the fourth quarter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how about a guy like Josh Butler? They've been searching for help on that opposite corner spot with Diggs, and now Diggs was out, so you had Bland. But Josh Butler was absolutely brilliant today. 11 tackles, 3 pass breakups. I mean, that's quite the find right there.
He's been on the practice squad for 2 years, and that's crazy to have a game like that. And now your find is a great word, Zach, because who knows? Who knows what his future will be? But maybe you found a useful player. Maybe you found a third or fourth corner, and he's certainly earned more. And I mean, he did have a tremendous game.
The penalties, I mean, the Cowboys played a pretty clean first half. I don't believe they had a penalty, but then I think if this thing had have gone the wrong way, Brad, a lot of people were already texting about Tyler Guyton and some of those penalties that took away first downs. The hold, maybe when you go back and look at it, I don't know, but they called it. With that rotation there at left tackle with Richards and Guyton, I wonder your thoughts there of where Tyler Guyton is right now in his rookie year.
It's a great question because the hold, I mean, that was a takedown. That's 2 points in wrestling. So, okay, you got your money's worth. That happens. The first play where he came out for one play, and it seemed like he knew it was happening, and it was only one play. And so what's that? You don't see that. And then he had those couple of penalties, like back-to-back. You cannot line up in the backfield twice in one game. You cannot do it. And Awesome Richards is not going to do that. Awesome Richards may not be, Larry Allen or Ralph Neely or Tyron Smith, but I think he's got a chance to be pretty good. And I'm interested to see. Brian and I always say, let's look at the tape tomorrow. I'd like to see how Steele played because Guyton was a right tackle in college. He's obviously got some ability,
right?
But he's struggling. And me personally, I just rather see Awesome Richards play right now. But that depends on what they think Guyton's future is, which is what you just asked me, Zach. And I just don't know what the answer to that is, other than the only two things I think you could say is you got to fight through it. And I don't know, maybe he's just way better at right tackle. So at some point, I'd be willing to look at that. But getting Richards in the game was an important. And then, of course, then Richards got hurt.
Yeah.
And Guyton came back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you just I want to say it doesn't matter how much talent you have. Of course it matters. But you cannot make those kind of mistakes that he made. That's not holding or, that's an act of commission. That's a part of the game. But those other things you can't have.
Brad, the line score said 28 carries for 91 yards, which is only 3.3. Boy, but I thought it was effective today.
So that's the point that's what you got to do. And Brian, you and I both remember when Parcells had Hambrick
as
the running back, and Bill said, "I don't care if we can run it or not, we're running it."
Yeah,
because you have to. Yeah. And so patchwork offensive line, and Dowdle ran really well, and you have to do. And then you see what happens. It opens up other things, and it makes them want to blitz like they did on the touchdown pass to Schoonover. So somebody blows a coverage. If they don't think you can run or respect the fact that you might, then you play into the defense's hands, and they won't be a good running team this year, but they can be representative enough to keep you in a game, and I think today's a great example of that.
Any final thoughts before we let you out of here, Brad?
It was good to, from our standpoint, and I think the people who listen to us every week, Zach, everybody needed to have a game that made them just feel happy. Yeah. And we all know it doesn't matter; they're not going anywhere. But just to feel good, just to have a competitive game where you get into the fourth quarter and you can think about strategy, and you have an opportunity for different little things to influence the outcome. If we haven't had that in literally a month or however many weeks it's been since they went to Pittsburgh, and so now you have this game. And I just saw one quick shot of from the locker room, which we had a network TV feed, and you could just the faces of the players. The players are the ones that I always think about because they're the ones paying the physical price, and it's just so hard to play this game without ever getting any reward. And when you see the smiles down there, I mean, we know we're smiling. It was more fun. It was more fun to do it. When you see the smiles of the players who are being rewarded for how hard they played, then that makes you feel good. That they had that coming, and I hope they get another one Thursday.
Thank you very much, Brad. Safe travels, and we'll see you on Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
There he goes, the voice of your Cowboys.
No doubt, and salute to everybody, man. We absolutely had a double winning. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. We absolutely won on that today because when you look at the selections, if you utilize our scores and our picks, we had hit on. We lost to 20, but we won 39 on the 3 picks that we hit from here. And then we won 56, so that's 63 on the Chubbs. So Wilson, Warren, and Winston hit, and Jerry, Judy, Harris, and Chubb hit. So that's 63, 56, and 39, all brought to you by the Underdog. So we just didn't win today on these selections here. So we up with it, baby. So at the end of the day, appreciate Underdog. Be sure to check out Underdog Fantasy, where you can go and get your selections on with Underdog. And they do have the pick selections here where you can go higher or lower, and it's just easy butter. You pick your selections here. For example, Derrick Henry, they got him down for rushing yards of higher, being in 85 yards, you can go higher or lower. And then for Jalen Hurts, they got him down for 219.5. You can go higher or lower with that, and then put your selection in there. So shout out to them for that. And let's get another caller on the floor right here. Appreciate you, Dr. Q, for waiting here from the 210. You in. Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, man, all is great.
I hear you, man. I'm just sitting up here enjoying my birthday today, man, making some tacos, man.
Hey, happy birthday, man. You know.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Enjoying the play-by-play as usual, man. But,
appreciate it.
So, again, man, hey, not going to apologize for when. And I think what a lot of our fans don't understand is that, and I'm going to give you an example of this, man. Some of these players are playing for bonus monies, i.e. for so many tackles, they get this and that. And I'll give you an example of this. My brother-in-law, who played for them in 06, and he played a few years with under Joe Gibbs or Sean Taylor and them, Lamar Marshall, he was the starting linebacker. He told me, he said, brother-in-law, look, I had to get literally two tackles to gain $500,000. The call came from upstairs, do not put him back in the game.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Do not put him back in the game. So sometimes those things happen because people don't, certain people don't want to pay the money, and those happen. So you just move on. But so I'm going to just hit on this, man, because I want the fans to also understand this too. So a lot of, during this whole 10, 11 game season, you keep hearing, I meant to hit you on this last week, but I didn't get the opportunity to call you. But they keep saying release Dak Steele, Zach Martin, and D-Law, right? The problem you have with that is, number one, Jerry messed up on the contract. That's without a doubt.
Right.
If you release Dak right now, for 2025 season, you're gonna take a $54 million cap hit. If you release Terrence Steele for 2025 season, you're gonna take a $4.625 million cap hit. Zach Martin, you take a $25 million cap hit, and D-Law, you take a $7 million cap hit. That's $91 million in dead money.
Right.
You only have $270 million. If you let that $91 million walk out the door, that's going to leave you with $179 million. But guess what? You still haven't signed. You still got to sign Parsons, and you got 47 other players to sign.
Yeah.
Because we know the rookie cap is a separate cap. But I don't think fans see that, man. They want these players going, but there's no way Jerry going to let $91 million walk out the door in dead money for these 4 players that most of our fans want to see gone. You got to let them play out. It's unfortunate that it is. I go back to my original, who I started. Jerry messed up on the contracts. You got to let them play it out, man, because that's a lot of money to just let walk out. You know?
Well, no, and I think that a lot of times the fans, they speak from an emotional standpoint, and they don't look at the bigger picture. Like right now, that's the bed you made. You know what I'm saying? So you got to sleep in it, and I think that there's ways you can maneuver money around to get the guys that you need, right? And in the start of this season, we've had a slew of injuries. But for next year, we'll see how we look. But I wouldn't entertain it no more than they just talking out of their feelings.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you were just from a dollar perspective, if you were to take one of those four and say, you know what, we're just going to move on, still would be your best shot because you're only. When I say only, it's a lot of money. It's 4.6. But that's still a lot of money. He would be your best choice out of the four because those other ones, man, you're going to be chewed up, particularly with the Dak thing. Because you're like a $54 million walking out the door and be like, hey, we don't want you no more. That's a lot of money to lose, man. And I don't think Jerry's going to tiptoe with that, you know. So
no doubt.
But yeah, man, hey, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, the play-by-play, I enjoy listening to you talk during the games. And I said, I got to call into my boy, man, and just, give him my perspective on what I see and think.
No doubt, man.
As usual, thank you very much, man. I appreciate everything.
No doubt, appreciate you. And all is not ending with the contracts. I always gonna bring this up while. Let me see. Make sure nobody's. Hold on, give me 1 second here.
Being a team that we want to be.
What about the range of emotions when the kick, they missed the extra point though after that? I mean, going from that low to that high.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you feel good because obviously you're in a position to win the game if you get another stop, but the point is you shouldn't even get there. Like, that's the reality of it. We shouldn't even get to hoping that they miss a field goal, we block a field goal. Like, we should be able to end the game on defense, get off, and we take a knee down, not all the kick returns and extra points and all that nonsense. Like, we should be able to end the game. And we had 13 points in the last 10 points in the last 4 minutes game. So that part really bothers me. We got to do a better job finishing, just playing high. But overall, I thought we had a great day.
Micah, you've talked about being in a dark place during this losing streak. What is the feeling of ending this losing streak?
Obviously, ending the losing streak is good, but it's like, what are you going to do the next couple of weeks, right? You can do it one time, but what is greatness? Consistency. So all I like is to do it against the Giants, get a win there, and then get ready for the December schedule. But all I like is consistency to play well. And like I said, finish this year dominant. And this should start right now. This is a good team that we came and beat. J.D. Daniels, man, he's a hell of a quarterback. Fast, great arm talent. I told him, I said, man, they would have played like that how they did for a minute. We were in trouble. We was gassed. So, high positivity for them. That's a really good team that we was able to come here on the road and get a win. But, I would like to see us do it consistently the next couple of weeks.
Micah Parsons talking postgame. Big game for Micah. A couple of sacks, 8 tackles today for him as the defense continued a really, really good performance. They've been playing tough the last few weeks. Micah, and that postgame audio brought to you by WinStar, is the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. WinStar delivers thrills worthy of America.
No doubt. Just want to be able to pull this up right quick and give you guys my thoughts on ways we can find money. And some people just look for the money, and we're not throwing tablets here, but I just want to pull this up. Shout out to my guy. Hold on.
The Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl window is actually about to open up again. With 3 simple moves after this season, the Cowboys could go into 2025 free agency with nearly $100 million in cap space. All they have to do is restructure Dak Prescott's contract, freeing up nearly $40 million for the 2025 cap. Then they can restructure CeeDee Lamb, which frees up nearly $40 million as well. And then they can designate Terrence Steele as a post-June 1 cut, which saves over $12 million. With those 3 simple moves, Dallas has plenty of money to sign Micah Parsons and make moves during free agency to get this roster back in order for a new coach. It was so they could do more during the bulk of CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott's contracts, while also letting Mike McCarthy play out the final year of his deal and starting fresh. Not to mention, Dallas has 10 draft picks to use in 2025. Whether they look to make a trade or make all 10 of those picks, that's a ton of draft capital for any team. To me, this seems like a really good plan, and if they pull it off, their Super Bowl window opens right back up.
That's solution content. And shout out to Double Move. Be sure to check out double move on YouTube and TikTok and beyond. So the nonsense of cutting CeeDee Lamb or Dak Prescott is crazy. The only logical thing would be, if you want to move on from Terrence Steele, is make him that June cut, and then you can save about $12 million and apply that to your team and to help elevate your team, right? But the knee-jerk reaction would be, hey, let's just go ahead and go into this cycle and of cutting both of those boys, because they got a no-trade clause in the contract, meaning that you can't move the money around or out of it. So, and you can't unless he's willing to trade it. And why would he do that? So those are the things that you will have to see, Cowboy Nation, and I don't think that that is an overpaid situation. I think that that's just the market of what it bears right now, and unfortunately.
Yeah,
hold on real quick.
I completely understand the fan base that's thinking about the only way to make this team better would be through the draft. It's something the Cowboys, for the most part, have done a pretty darn good job. And, if you start to trade away from, or you start to win games and then you start to go lower and lower and lower, and the Cowboys have picked in the 20s, the late 20s, the last few years. And it's a little bit more of a difficult challenge to do. But, I just say, you don't have to tank. Just keep playing, and, hey, they're getting guys back. But you saw today they kind of tried to give the game away again.
It's still not a good team.
It's not, we're not going to sit here once again and tell you guys that, they're about to run off.
Here comes the playoffs.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're running off 7 straight wins or something like that. Today was a good day. They caught a team that's struggling a little bit in the Commanders, but they're in the playoff hunt. They're in the division hunt. And so that part of it would make it a nice win.
All right, let's go to line 8. We got Jaime in Fort Worth. What's going on?
Hey, fellas.
Hello.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
We're Super Bowl bound. We can't win out if we didn't start with today's game.
Absolutely. Yeah, got that right.
No, man. But that's why we them and we hate them, right? It's games like today when we're in a bad season.
No doubt. Just wanted to bring this up for context. A lot of people say, well, hey, what are we playing for? Why do we play this game? And why are these guys trying to show that they're trying to win? Well, for example, Josh Butler right now, he's making $309,000. Let me repeat, he's making $309,000 a season. By him showcasing this is a difference of a team saying, you know what? He looked gritty. He looked like he can be scrappy just a little bit. Let's sign him to a $2 million deal. How many times $300,000 can go into $2 million or $3 million? And he was on the verge of being exiled away from the NFL by being on the practice squad for 2 seasons. But now he elevated and fought himself back onto this team, and the team might say, hey, we will sign Josh Butler for $2 million now. Not saying that these boys playing for money, but football is not for long. That's why I make it such an important thing to say to you guys that football players now play the game. Shoot, when you're in my age and you're 40 and beyond, you could talk podcasts all you want. You can't play ball at the highest level being my age, you know what I'm saying? Or being in the 50s and the 60s. You got all your life you can do the podcast stuff. You got all your life you can do the other things like going to the clubs, partying and all of that. That was my message, the optics of it. Right? So those are things that you have to look into. And shout out to Josh Butler, So, and we hope that, he continue to put that on tape and he can show that tape to his scouts, his agents, to his school, to the other team that may take a look at him. Yeah, so it's still what it is. Hey, I may be a young buck, ice cold, but, me and Jason Witten the same age. You know what I'm saying? So we can't play ball no more, bro. We can't play ball no more. But shout out to Jason Witten. He's considered old, and just perspectives. So I just look at it like that. And I would say this. The Dallas Cowboys should try to look into this thing and say, all right, cool. Yeah. So we don't have more games. We don't have more days in front of us like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we did a couple of years ago to be in this sport. You know.
For details, visit thestardistrict.com.
So I'm gonna let somebody on the line for your mind. Shout out to you. Shout out to the kick out, man, with all of the shakes over there. The 49ers trash. I see it. The 49ers being trash. Big trash, big homie. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Appreciate everybody for jumping in and tuning in to the nation, man. And as the Washington team lick their wounds over there, I got my brother from the VIP hotline for your mind at 860. Talk to me.
Lord, VIP, baby.
Yes, indeed. What's good, bro?
Lord, I don't know if I'm excited over a win anymore. I don't even know if I have to celebrate anymore. I don't want to tank. But my pride in me says all division games I want Doug. I don't know, Lord. I'm caught in between.
Torn between. Hey.
But I do know this, Lord. What I saw was the elevation of Mike Zimmer.
Yeah.
I saw him put in my boy Ye. You see how much Ye was getting?
Yeah.
That's more Ye if people don't know. One Ye was getting that burn. He was sprinkling him on third down, and then I think he just started crucially just throwing them in. Knowing that is our replacement. Like, I love 6 and 28, I think, are next year. Are their contracts up next year?
I believe so.
Yeah, both of them, bro. Both of them, B. Both of them got to move on. And I don't know about. Yo, what do you think about Ghosted? Because Ghosted, he's been a tweener for so long. I know he's on the chopping block, but I kind of like home, man. It's something about this guy.
Well, he's good at rotations. I think that he's playing. It's a contract year for him, so he's trying to play his best football, his best version of football. So I would say he had a great game, had an INT in his game, or a strip, sack, fumble, whatever you want to call it. So shout out to him. I think he put together some good stuff.
And like I know the last quarter was on Butler. I think we found ourselves a third corner. Or we have to pick in the draft, get us another corner. Really, I want to know what's your ideology after Thanksgiving for the draft. Do you want to go running back first? Because I heard the deep tackle class is deep. So should we go priority, best player available?
BPA, man. I would go BPA. I would like for us to do this. Normally, when you're talking about free agency, they got a free agency right before the draft. I want the Cowboys to dabble and dip into that. You already got your quarterback paid. You already got your wide receiver paid, right? So you're sitting on $24.5 million. You can still start working on Michael Parsons' contract, or you can make some adjustments so you can get in front of this and just build this team properly.
Yes.
You can build this team properly.
You can draft the best player available. Mm-hmm. So you're not thirsty when it comes to the draft for needs.
Right.
So if you go feel like, even if you go get a snatch of a nice deep tackle, go get us a veteran corner. Then I don't think our needs are. Obviously, we need. I like 76. I like the way home. I think we found a swing tackle with what's her name? Richards.
Awesome Richards, yeah. Awesome Richards.
You're awesome. I for home. I think home. I like his big body, and I think if you want to let go Steele. Go 60 on the other side. Yeah. Isn't that his natural side anyway?
I mean, you talking about Guyton on the right side?
Yeah, Guyton.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. That you saying what Big Nate Newton said, and I trust his football knowledge. So yeah, let's work with that. Let's go with the offensive line of Awesome, Tyler, then BB, Bass, and then you kick Tyler Guyton on the right side. That's his offensive 5 lineup. So, hey, if you come up with the same conclusion that Big Nathan said, hey, let's go with it.
Because like you said, I didn't see as much pressures. I mean, I love me some Zach. They've been calling him the trash for a minute. Look, P, I didn't see as many pressure. I'm going to go check it again, but I didn't see the pressure count.
Yeah.
Like we've been seeing for the last 5 weeks.
I can't wait. I can't wait to go back and watch the tape again to see what we got. Still natural position is right tackle, but hey, somebody said still natural position should be the bench. But man, I appreciate you for calling in, Chief.
Hey, look, Lord, it's all about my Cowboys. I don't give a damn what our record is. I really want 2 more wins. I want to win next week, another division win, and then I'm back in tank mode, man, because I want that running back. I've been watching, man. I don't want to speak his name until we get him, but I want him. They call him the next Barry Sanders. I really want. I think he will change our offense.
Yeah, we'll see, bro. Appreciate you for calling in.
You know what it is. How about them Cowboys? No Slurpees, B.
No Slurpees. All right, so that's VIP. Appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in and being part of these type of episodes. We just got to continue to grind and shine. We're going to get things going the best way possible. We just got to get it going one way or another, Cowboy Nation. For those who's tuning into this for the very first time, understand that the Dallas Cowboys still going to get talked about. We're going to be the most visible and viewed, showcasing talking points this week. You can book it. And shout out to Dan Quinn. Where have you been, huh? Yeah. Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn. But as we depart from here, I appreciate everybody, man, who called in on this Victory Sunday, which is going to turn into Victory Monday. The water, the food, everything is going to taste better, right? The time for your mind is going to be better. The Cowboys, even in this particular light, is going to be better. Appreciate everybody, man, who called in. Thank all of you guys that was waiting on the queue. But I can't get to you guys. Time for me to grab me some real food to eat. Celebrate this victory. Stand tall or not at all, Cowboy Nation. I didn't have to play the Cat Williams today. Cowboys stood right into the mix of it. Come on with it, Cowboy Nation. Quinn and Witt, I knew they were some Cowboy fans, you know. Oh, and excuse me, Dorrance Armstrong and Fowler and them. Yeah, the Washington Cowboys, boy, they showed up today, huh? So let's go, Cowboy Nation. Stand tall with this. Mama said if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it. To work day and night, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep. If all of your desires of it makes you quite mad that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan to lose all terror of your mind. If you would simply, just simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold or the poverty or the famish or the fame or the sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset with the help of Almighty Cowboy Nation, you will get it. That's been my time, man. I appreciate y'all. Salute to all of the sponsors, Frenkel and Frenkel Law Firm Personal Injury Lawyers, as well as the Underdogs. We victorious. Be sure to check out Underdog information in the description box. We about put blue hearts in the chat. One love. DC for life, not for short. We about. Peace.
Give me my theme music.
Check or something. I've been really in the field, let up, yeah. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up, yeah. Kinda check or something. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, count it up. Lately I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about